right, man. We'll record a little bit here. Get some good neck work.
It's not on. I turned it off. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah, there you go, brother. All right, man. Let's go. I'll let you pick out whatever you want on there. All right. Here.
See, one of the things I noticed about you, like, your work compared to some of the therapists I work with is the way you move people around. Like, you mobilize joints more.
You gotta pull on people. And still go here.
Is that you playing music?
Yeah, it's my radio on there. Should I turn it off?
Yeah. I don't. It might not be loud enough for the microphone to pick it up, but they'll flag it on copyright and stuff.
Isn't that what you do? That's what you do, isn't it?
This?
Yeah, right there. That's what you do.
No, it's oil on a table.
Isn't that what you do? Same thing. Same thing.
Similar. Well, the other thing is, like, I consistently work with apprentices, and, like, they're actually, I think, a little bit taken aback where, like, they think I have a script for what I'm going to teach. Mm-hmm. And I go, Marilyn, what do you have problems with? And she's like, oh, on my leg. Well, let's work on that.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh. Like, I just document the process.
There you go.
So it's easier for her to understand what's going on when she feels it in her tissues.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe she doesn't have an arm problem. Okay. So let's work on your leg. That's what's bothering you. That's what's stiff or causing pain. So we'll work on that. But I think if you have a shoulder problem and you help somebody with it, they have a better understanding of, like, what their knees should feel like and what the work around their knees should feel like.
As you continue to work on it.
From experience, yeah. So I just take them where they're at and continue to, build them up. And the same thing
by working on them.
Yeah. They're like, so what I work on you? I'm like, well, let's have you do some of the same stuff to me because I just need to receive Bodywork. But then I'm like, yeah, can you help me with that TFL and you work on that?
But see, then most people will be like, well, they'll do a little bit of work and then they're like, oh, I don't know what to do next. So it's that exploration part that most people do.
Just keep working.
And moving around. Sometimes you get stuck into the two-dimensional plane. Sometimes just lifting you up into the three-dimensional like that, switches a little bit.
Students are like, well, like, where do I press? Or like, how much pressure do I use? I'm like, keep working on the client till they go. And then do that again.
Or simple, just ask. Simple to just ask, man. That's one of the differences between mat work. People tend to talk more.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more talking. But anyhow. What's this muscle right here, you think?
Splenius?
Yeah, splenius.
Capitis.
Yeah, man, it's a good one. Just a little bit of
beef jerky
movement. Right there, man. As you get closer to the base of the skull, pull you down. See, the value to me in the mat work was the movement. It like gives you a license to move people. Because usually when you're on the table, you don't want to move people. You don't want to disturb them. But here, it's a lot different. You're accessing.
And so my entire background. One, I was in gymnastics in high school. Mm-hmm. We got so sore. It was like other guys in my high school were like, that's gay. And I'm like, I'm gay because I'm in gymnastics?
Yeah.
Because
I can move my body?
You would do like pommel horse, and you would be so sore. You'd get forearm splints. Mm-hmm. And like people would come and like step on my forearms or mash on me, and like you get your friend, you're 16 years old, you're like, would you please just press on me? So there was always this movement, right? Because you were doing this strenuous mobility-based exercise. So even my sense of like Swedish gymnastics, my Swedish had more movement than some other therapists. Because it was like when you moved the shoulder blade, it was like you could feel it in the thoracics.
Yeah, you access more.
And then that was still, I didn't know mat work at this time. That was still, like, to me, it was like, yeah, like a good deep Swedish was basically what I did when I got out of school. There's always some movement, or at least more than some therapists. And, you know, I went to school in Pennsylvania, lived in Louisiana. So, like, I didn't go to the local school. I didn't do the routine everybody else had been taught. Like, clients would come in and see me at a place I worked and go, your massage is different. And it's like, well, I went to a different school.
Right.
And then the same thing happened when I moved to Austin.
Yeah,
I didn't go to local schools.
People will know exactly, you know, they'll know right off you're here from Austin. As soon as you touch them, they know that you're not from one of the local schools, you know.
Don't they frustrating working with you, Tim?
Why is that?
You're too pretty.
Who's too
You
pretty?
just made me look pale. I look like a ghost. I look like a vampire on camera.
The true blood.
He's like, Robert's like translucent. It's like my people have no melody.
You got a big glare. Tim's working on a luminous being.
Ooh, man.
Yes. All right, so keep your neck right there, or your head right there, and just nod your chin back and forth, up and down.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, just like that, up and down, just like you're nodding. Yeah, there you go. I'm moving her just like this.
So for me, I don't
Right
really
there.
feel like other people do that I have a fight between the table and the mat. It's just like, no, just allow both. That's all.
Yeah.
If you just allow both, then people get to do whatever they felt was best for the client.
That's what's nice about this. I can, you know, being in your own space, sometimes I don't even have a clue on what I'm going to do with a client. Sometimes I'll have the mat out. Sometimes I'll have the table out. A lot of my clients go with whatever, you know, they're like, hey, you know, you're the expert, you know, they like to say, so, you know, they just let me pick. And sometimes they'll do both. See, brother, right in here.
See, the thing is, like, when you put your hand on the back of the skull, your fingertips on the scalp, like, what I feel is like this link between the 2 points of contact, where it's like, I don't even think you were thinking move scalp, you're more like thinking move my head. But I feel like what feels like a nerve link between those two things. Like, the multiple points of contact changes it.
Yes. And man, multiple points of contact, man, that's, you know, the multiple points of contact, I think I started learning that more in jiu-jitsu. You know, I think I was doing massage for 4 years before I got to jiu-jitsu, and then I learned that I can use my hands and my feet, and how just multiple areas feels differently, how it stretches the base out. You know, that's instead of just working here and then working here and then working here, you know, they're all connected down through here, you know. If I want neck movement, I'm going to move your elbow. There you go. All right, now if you would slowly turn your head to the left, just like that. Perfect. Yeah. And then slowly lift your chin to the back wall. Yeah, just like that, right there.
It's like the conversation about oil. Like is Robert against oil? I'm like, why would I be against you having tools?
Right.
I'm against you telling me what I have to use in any given instance.
Right.
I'm like, just let me go pick the tool that works for the client. Or, the therapists are like, well, what if I want to practice that's just table-based? I'm like, then make a practice that's just table-based. Like, I'm not forcing you.
Blending everything in, to me, is the key. The thing is, just because you work on the table doesn't mean you have to use oil, like you said. I don't know if you said that, but I've started a massage many times on the table, and I moved through, and even the client's like, hey, it's okay to use oil if you want to. I'm like, yeah, I know I can use oil if I want to. But that's not the portion of the massage that I'm at, at that time. If I wanted, I would be in my abilities to use not oil or not use anything, but
the therapists are the experts. We're the ones who should be studying, delving, and expanding the client's parameters for what potential is.
Yep.
That's all. And it allows you as a therapist to pick the practice that you want to have.
And we should be basing that on if the work is effective or not. If you have effective work, then why not? Do you think a lot of establishments don't like your style of massage is because it's called Thai massage generally, or most people think of it as Thai massage?
I think the fundamental break is this is different. We don't like it. We're trying to standardize and have relative normalcy here. This is throwing a monkey wrench in the way we do things. We don't like this. This represents change. We don't like it. That's why. You understand that if you have 20 therapists working at a facility, they're all going to be a little different. They're all going to approach things a little bit different. You don't want one therapist who just completely stands out, even if it's really effective, because it starts to throw shade on the other therapists. They're trying to create homogeneity. Like, my teaching doesn't make your practice more normal. It certainly don't make it more average.
So you're saying that most brick and mortar places want everybody to be the same? Is it like they want to be like a McDonald's and have, if they put out a cheeseburger, that's what you're going to get. A cheeseburger is a cheeseburger.
Why do you keep putting ketchup? That's how we do this here. Or whatever. And it's like, and I understand that. But within a range, basically, when I go in and if I go into a facility to do a training on a table, it looks more like Stretch Lab. And they're like, that's not what we do here. From the outside of view, it looks more like Stretch Lab or Stretch Zone. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm flat out telling you.
So that's what people think you're doing. You're doing Stretch Lab.
There's a problem with what you taught here. And I go, okay, is the work effective for chronic pain? Absolutely. Is it easier for the therapist to perform and less body strain? Absolutely. Are both the therapist and the owner making more money? Absolutely. What's the problem? This is not massage. And I go, if you want something that's less effective, and you want something that doesn't ease body strain for the therapist, and you want something that doesn't make money for the staff and the owner, I'm sorry, I don't have an ineffective solution for you. It sounds like you want mediocrity. Like, that's not what I teach. Those two things aren't problems. It's your failure to adapt that's the problem.
Do you see your work as, I don't think I've ever asked you, do you see your work not as what other people view massage, but as what massage and body work should be?
So here's what the problem is. Massage is defined by state statutes, law, and regulation.
Well, we can go.
Philosophically, massage to me doesn't have a definition, so I don't care what people call it. Personally, now I follow the rules and regulations in my state. I am a licensed massage therapist, and the state of Texas requires a license to call your stuff massage.
You turn on your side, face that way.
Do you have like a pillow or something?
Yes, I sure do.
Do we need to restart the camera?
Is it still flashing?
It's still going, but looks like we're 15 minutes or something. Yeah, just go ahead and restart.